Texas splattered Florida. It was 42-0 at halftime. That's when I turned the game on because there was nothing else to see. And Florida was able to put some garbage points up when the game was already decided. Texas had to back up in, and the official score was 49-17. But I'm just going to say it was 42-0 at halftime because that's when I stopped watching because there wasn't anything else to watch. You know, watching this game, it made you wonder to yourself, why did Florida make the decision to bring Billy Napier back for another season? Because, look, I get that you got a bunch of guys out with injuries. You're starting a bunch of third and practice squad players. But if you were playing good against Georgia last week, why couldn't you carry that momentum over to this game against Texas? You know, you're going on the road in a big-time atmosphere, on the road. You think the players would be up for this game, but it was just complete massacre for 60 minutes. And I'm not going to completely bag on Billy Napier like a lot of y'all want me to because, I mean, listen, Texas has a top 3 roster in college football. You know they got deep pockets down there in Texas with all that oil and gas money that they be having. So it's easy for them to just buy up all the best recruits, all of the top talent in the transfer portal. And when you're going up against a team as good as what Texas is, and you got a dude like Aiden Warner starting for you at quarterback who was like a walk-on to the squad. He had to transfer from Yale to the team. It's like you're not going to have a shot in this game. He had 2 interceptions, 132 passing yards. The only way Florida could move the football was by running it, which, you know, Texas is one of the hardest defenses to run the football against. So if Florida was going to win this game, they were going to need DJ Lagway, and he wasn't able to go when the game kicked off, and you kind of already saw how this game was going to go. Now, of course, you expect Florida to be a little bit more competitive because they do recruit pretty well, and the gap between them and Texas isn't that huge, you wouldn't think, but I mean, you got Kamani McLean starting for you at corner. Isn't this dude supposed to be like a preferred walk-on? At least that's what was reported when he transferred from Colorado to Florida. He wasn't guaranteed a scholarship. He had to earn it. Yeah, so when I saw him starting out there and he slipped early in this game, I knew Florida was screwed. And I'm not going to use this game to solely justify the decision to retain Billy Napier for one more year was a bad decision because you still have a couple of games left to close out this season that, you know, if you can upset LSU or Ole Miss, and of course you're going to take care of business against Florida State, you'll be bowl eligible, and I think it would be mission accomplished for Billy Napier. You see, what people don't want to give the context to about how this season has gone for Billy Napier is that he somewhat has overachieved. Most of us thought after that Texas A&M game, it was all but over for him, and reports say that, you know, the guys in Florida's alumni and their collective, they already had the buyout money ready for him. But the team improved ever since. You know, they looked good against UCF and Kentucky in those wins. They came close to beating Tennessee. They gave Georgia a scare. But this week was really disappointing when you think about how well this football team has played the weeks prior. And even with the amount of injuries they had, a big focal point of Billy Napier coming back was the fact that the younger players, the sophomores and the freshmen, were playing some good football. And 70% of Florida's NIL money is going out to these freshmen and sophomore players that they're throwing out there. So if these guys are the future, you want to see a little bit more fight, you know, but I still want to see what Florida does against LSU and Ole Miss, because if you can win one of those 2 games and you clobber FSU, you get the 6 wins, then that would give me enough encouragement that the decision to bring back Billy Napier was actually one that was justified. But if you end up losing the rest of your games and the only win you get is against FSU, then I'm going to be scratching my head. Because it just seems like Billy Napier had a good stretch, and then he gets to notice that he's going to be back for another year, and the dude kind of just threw his hands up and just said, you know, I'm going to just relax. We don't really got a shot to win these games at all. It's a difference when you're coaching with your job on the line versus when you're coaching when you know you have job security. And I thought that Billy Napier might have been able to pull a Gus Malzahn. Something that Gus Malzahn became a household name for at Auburn was that anytime there was some hot seat talk around him, Auburn would always play their best football under him. But anytime he had job security, Auburn wouldn't be that good. But for Billy Napier, man, listen, you got a lot to prove over these next couple of weeks. You still got to play LSU, Ole Miss, FSU. You got to win one of these games, brother. You got to. Because with how much success Curt Cignetti's having at Indiana, you mean to tell me Florida isn't willing to dish out the money to fire this dude and hire him? Because Indiana has their first 10-win season in program history, and Curt Cignetti has only been there for one season. So Curt Cignetti can turn around a school that has been irrelevant in the landscape of college football since beginning of time in one season, but Billy Napier needs 4 years to turn around Florida in a recruiting hotbed with access to all of the best talent in the state, not just the state, but the country. Come on, man. We need to see a little bit more out of you, Billy Napier. Come on now. I'm tired of calling you Sunbelt Billy. Step it up. Step it up.